Hello, everyone. So here today, this is for what obstacles do you need to overcome this week? So we have group one, group two, and group three. You can pick whatever jumps out for you. You could pick one group, multiple group, whatever really just works for you. So anyway, for those that already know, timestamps are going to be down below. But for everyone who needs a little extra time, I'm going to start the little clock thing for a minute, and there you go. Okay, everyone, see you in the next section. Hello, group one. So this is for your reading for what mental obstacles do you need to overcome this week. So in the first position, you have the Nine of Needles, and this is the Nine of Swords in this deck. This is about overactive minds, anxieties, worries, fear, depression, and nightmares. It represents negative thoughts that weigh heavily on our minds. This card can indicate that you are worrying excessively about a situation and your negative thoughts are getting the better of you, leaving you stressed and anxious. Fears and worries can become self-fulfilling prophecies. As you obsess over what may go wrong, you are more likely to manifest it. The recommendation is to break the cycle. How you do that is every time a negative emotion comes up, replace it with a positive one. So every time you find yourself thinking a negative thought, replace it with maybe something that you're thankful for, or replace it just with a different thought that's more positive, and it'll help you get out of that negative thought pattern. Many of these fears are in our heads and may not actually represent what is going on, and overthinking. So this card oftentimes represents, at least for myself, when I am thinking so much over something, but it's not, or I'm worrying about something to happen in the future, but it didn't actually transpire yet. So I'm kind of stressing myself out for no reason, because it turns out it never actually transpires the way I was worried about. So this could really be saying that whatever you're worried about, you're overthinking, you're over-worrying, and it's not actually going to turn out the way that you fear it will. So this card is recommending you break that thought pattern. Then the next card you have here is the Waxing Moon. This card says the energy is gaining momentum. This card's all about positive omens, indicating that you can create the reality you're dreaming of, though it will take some work. Energy's rising up. Take more practical steps to reach your goals. Keep moving forward. So, and then your positive affirmations card says, I see myself attracting harmonizing intent. And on the back it says, I see myself attracting only those in harmony with my current intent. And I am getting clearer and clearer in every moment about what it is that I want. It matters not what others are choosing. What is important is that I am pleased with me and that I see myself, I certainly am. So that's that. And then over here, you have your letters are W, X, U, R. Your numbers are 0 and 2. You have the Believe Stone. This little ruin here represents victory, honor, justice, law, balance, self-sacrifice, and righteousness and self-awareness. And then you have the symbol of Virgo, which is an earth sign. And Virgos represent being organized, practical, diligent, cautious, sensible, and exacting. So, what I kind of pulling everything together here, it seems like you have, obviously, as we discussed before, I mentioned before, you have maybe overactive mind, you're stressed out, you're overthinking things. It could be you're stressed or worried or you're overthinking a situation. For each person, it's going to be different. So how it works for you is the way the message is meant to be. But you could be overthinking or worrying too much about something that has not actually transpired quite yet. And with this saying the energy is gaining momentum, but it's also a positive omen. So I feel that whatever you're overthinking, if you're able to change that into a positive thought pattern, you're going to gain more momentum that way, and you're going to be attracting more harmony. Because even with this card, it says, I see myself attracting, harmonizing intent. So if you believe, things are going to work out okay, and you're going to pull that towards you. So with this card, it says it's a card of like, it's going to take some work. Things are not just going to magically come towards you or happen. This card is about like, you get what you put out. Okay. So if you put out something good, or if you're working towards something, or if you're putting that effort, that energy into something, you're going to get rewarded for that. But it does take some effort. So with this, it might just mean like, you got to kind of if something's really stressing you out, maybe you have to see a different way about either going about it. If it's a person that's the problem, maybe you need to think about putting up boundaries, or kind of reassessing the value of the friendship, or whatever relationship you have to that person. Maybe it's something that you might need to take some step back. It could even be if it's something about a career, if this is to deal with career, maybe you're not happy at work, and this could be saying, well, put in energy to look for a different job, or think about what would make you happy work-wise. Put in the energy, and you're going to attract what it is that you want. Because this little guy here, he's about balance, self-sacrifice, and selflessness. So maybe this requires you to kind of do some kind of self-sacrifice. Even with this thought pattern, it's not easy always changing your thought process. So in a sense, it could be like you might have to kind of, it might take some extra work to kind of change that on your end. And maybe there's things that, for instance, okay, let's just take something, if you're on a diet, or you need to eat a certain type of way. It could be for medical condition or whatever. If you need to eat a certain type of way, and you're not eating that kind of way, but for whatever reason, it's like you're doing it, and you're like having whatever you're having, you're like, oh, I know I'm not supposed to have this. It could take that you might be stressed out about that, because you're going to get some negative things happening, with whatever it could be. You need to maybe self-sacrifice in a sense of like, you need to change that up. It's going to take work, but you're going to get to where you're going, let's say health-wise or diet-wise. We're just pulling something out of the air just to kind of give an example. But I love this card because this is all about, I see myself attracting, harmonizing intent. So you need to tell yourself, it might be a situation, obviously, things are not quite the way you want them to be currently, but you got to wake up in the morning and say, you know what? I see myself attracting it. Whatever it is, I see myself attracting it. Like if you wake up, let's say if you want happiness, you wake up and you're like, I'm going to be a happy person. I'm attracting happiness. I'm just going to be happy. And so that's going to help you attract that to you. So I have a vision board in my kitchen, and I put like everything that I want to achieve within maybe the next like 5 years. I put kind of pictures, because I'm more visually orientated. I put the pictures up on the vision board. But at the very, very top, I found a picture of a sunflower, but it had like a smiley face on it. So I put that at the very top because to me that represents happiness, because you could have all the stuff in the world, but if you are not happy, you don't have anything. Happiness is the main thing. So let's say you want something, so that's for where was I going here? I feel like I lost my train of thought, but that's what I was saying. So let's just say, as far as if you are attracting happiness or something, or if you're trying to change your energy, put something somewhere where you can see it. It could be something silly. Like I got this little pumpkin guy from a store recently. I love him. I think he's so cute, but he makes me happy. Every time I see him, he kind of, if I'm having in a funk or anything, he like kind of pulls me out of that. So maybe just have something in your bag, have something on your desk at work that just every time you see just kind of makes you a little happier. Or even if you can't have it on your desk at work, stick it in a drawer. Like if you have pencils or pens in the drawer or something, every time you open the drawer and you see whatever it could be that makes you happy, it's going to just be a reminder to kind of pull you back into that mental clarity. Because this week, I really think this is what this is saying, that you're going to be kind of facing some of this stress, mental stress. And it really could just be things that you're creating yourself. It could definitely be due to other situations. But sometimes we just kind of create things ourselves, unfortunately, and we get just sucked into that. Let me see if I kind of see anything else here before we go to the Magic 8 Ball. Start thinking of a question for the Magic 8 Ball. We'll find out what the mystical, magical 8 Ball has to say for you, for your question. And then we're going to do your other two things. See, the Virgo here, this is a sign of being organized. So it could be, I know sometimes when I have things kind of disarray or out of order, it causes me extra stress. But when I have things more organized, I feel almost better about things. So I feel like I'm actually in a state of always organizing, and it's a little annoying. But I just feel more able. I feel like things are just flow better. At least I don't know how to explain it. So maybe it could be that maybe if you take some time to, maybe if there's something kind of stressing you out, organize something in your house, and that could kind of make you feel a little bit better as well. Or if it's even anything, 'cause sometimes just cleaning out your car makes you feel better. I'm not saying that this is a reading of just like, okay, clean everything and it's going to fix everything, but do something for yourself that makes you feel a little bit more confident, a little bit happier. And this might help kind of break that thought pattern, because this is just a nasty thing to be stuck in, this kind of negativity, this mental negativity and stress. Life is too short to be kind of stuck with this all the time. Be in the Nine of Swords mindset all the time. So think of a question to ask the Magic 8 Ball Group 1. We're going to ask that in a second. But first, we will ask the question of all questions, or we will answer the question of all questions. The most important question of your week, possibly. What dish will be with you in this week? What dish will help you? At least in spirit anyway. Let's find out. Okay, for group 1. Oh, something came out right away. Okay, hold on. I got it. Okay, so you have the Queen of Manes. And I believe, this looks to me like turkey, but let me find out exactly what this one specifically says in the book. Let's see. Hold on a second here. Queen of Manes. Yep, it's turkey. Just making sure. So you have the spirit of the turkey is going to be with you. So there you go. Spirit of turkey. Take it however it works for you. You have the spirit of the turkey. And then you have, let's find out kind of a little inspirational card. I really like these. So let's see what your little inspirational quote should be for this week. Okay, so here we go. Failure is the condiment that gives success its flavor. So I'm going to say that again. Failure is the condiment that gives success its flavor. So You could be stressed out about something that maybe didn't quite work out as you planned. I mean, it happens. Unfortunately, it happens to everybody. We plan, we think something's going to go a certain way, and then all of a sudden it's just a disaster. So you're not alone. You're not alone. But when you overcome that failure, it feels so good. So maybe that's kind of what this is going on. You might be trying to overcome something. Like if you're a student, it could even be something to deal with school. Maybe you have a class, because I know school's starting for a lot of people now. Maybe you have a class that's really rough for you. You know, we've all been there. And you might have had some issues with that subject in the past, but this time around, you're going to make it work. You got to think that you're going to make it work. You got to go through it, and you got to do what you need to do to get it to work. So however this resonates for you is the way you need to, because it's obviously everybody's different. So you might see something different that I don't see, but however it works for you is the way you need to take this. Okay, so let's answer your question. Oh, group 1. What is the question? Or, Magic 8 Ball. What is the question to group 1's answer for this week of, whatever question they have, actually. Okay, group 1. Let's see what the Magic 8 Ball says. Signs point to yes. So there you have it. The Magic 8 Ball has spoken. It has said that the signs that it is receiving from the higher ups is saying that there's a yes to your question, or your answer to your question. So there you go. I hope you have a wonderful week, group 1. I hope everything works out for you. And just stay positive, group 1. Stay positive. Okay, bye. Hello, group 2. So you actually have a very similar reading as to what group 1 just had. So first off, you have the 8 of Needles, which is actually, this represents the swords in this deck. This card is about feeling powerless and stuck, negative thoughts, self-imposed restrictions, imprisonment, and having a victim mentality. It's a card about feeling trapped and restricted by your circumstances. Feeling that options are limited with no clear path out. There is a way out of the situation. You just need to take a look at it from a different perspective. Your thoughts and beliefs are no longer serving you. You could be overthinking things. If you change your thoughts, you will change your reality. Replace negative thoughts with positive ones. Others may be offering to help you, or there is an alternative way to go about the situation you are feeling stuck in. Okay, so then your second card is, you have the new moon in Taurus, which says that prosperity lies ahead. This card represents, it says to imagine you have reached your goal or attained what you want, but take practical steps in getting it. Then this, your Law of Attraction card says, my every relationship can now feel better. It says, by intending, as you are moving into a segment of relationships, to focus upon your points of harmony, to give your great attention, not to what you are disagreeing about, but to the things that you agree upon. That is the resolution in all relationships. For when you focus on what you do not like, by the law of attraction, you solicit more of what you do not want. It's so crazy because group 1, guys have different cards, but the themes in each card are very, very similar. So I think a lot of people probably are kind of going through this kind of stuff right now, just collectively. So it's insane how sometimes that kind of comes through the cards, because I believe that these things, I believe we all have a spirit. I like to call them the spiritual teams. I feel like sometimes we need more than one spirit guide. We need a team of people. I like to think we have a team, just in case somebody's fed up one day and wants to take the day off. We got a backup. We got somebody else, helping us out. So I always believe that sometimes these cards are, however they work or they come out, it's the way of communication from the higher ups or the spiritual team, and that's what they are trying to give you the message. So, but a lot of times, because we're all connected, we're all here together at the same time, a lot of things can kind of blend, the energies going on kind of just blend to everybody. So it's just funny how group 1 and group 2, really, you guys are very, very, you might have actually been thinking about picking group 1, and then, as well, they might have both kind of jumped out to you? Because I know sometimes when I am watching videos, other tarot card readers, multiple groups will kind of like jump out to me, and then I can't decide, and then I'm like, who do I like? Which group? Because I always feel like I should just pick one group, but I started like, oh no, well, let me listen to both of them, and it's usually something resonates with both groups for me. Anyway, so moving on. For your letters, you have V, M, E, T, and then you have the color orange, and you have the color purple. It's like a dark purple. You have the stone faith that says faith. And this little ruin guy, he's about security, certainty, clarity, dramatic change, and path of destiny. So that's that. And then you have this sign for Taurus. And I love when things just kind of synchronicities happen, because you have the new moon in Taurus, and then you got the little symbol Taurus, little, what is this? The little block, this little wood piece. So Taurus represents Earth. This sign kind of is about patience, pleasure-loving, material, determined, and conservative. So let's see what's going on here. So kind of throwing it all together. You know what? So this card is obviously about being stuck and powerless and negative thought patterns, which group one had a lot of negative thought patterns. But honestly, usually when you're stuck and feeling powerless, negative thought patterns or, negative thinking, it just hand in hand goes with that. So it just could be that. And there's nothing you can do about it. Sometimes circumstances are out of your control, that there's nothing you can do about it. All you can do is try to change your thought patterns or change the ways you're seeing or looking at something to try to better the situation, even if it's just mentally for yourself. But this is saying there is a way out of the situation. So this card also symbolizes that you feel stuck, but there is actually a way out. You might not see it. You might be too much in your head that you don't actually quite see the way out, but there is a way out of the situation. You just kind of have to figure it out a little bit. Look from a different perspective. This also could be that maybe sometimes we get really attached to what we think or how we feel, that it's hard for us to kind of move beyond that. And sometimes we need to change, actually, if we saw something a certain kind of way or we felt something about something, and then it's not serving us anymore, and then sometimes we need to shift it up and we need to just change the way we think about something to evolve. It could be anything. So this could be saying that you're also kind of stuck in an old pattern, a mental pattern or pattern of behavior. And it's time to kind of shake things up a little bit, leave what doesn't work for you and move on to things that are new and maybe better for you. This also can indicate that there's other people that want to help you and offering help, but you don't want to take the help for whatever reason. So, but this new moon in Taurus, he's saying prosperity lies ahead. So, and with the law of attraction, he's saying that you have to imagine you reaching the goal. But Taurus is all about practical kind of steps and action and kind of planning things logically. So you might have to, if you have a goal and you're not entirely how you're going to make it work, just plan the baby steps, even if it's little baby steps, one step at a time. Sometimes we can't see, if there's a mountain, you can't figure out how to climb the whole mountain just from, a mile away. You see the mountain, it's there. You can't see maybe the tiny little steps up the mountain. You think it's impossible. But so this is saying, take the first step, plan. Okay, I could see 20 feet in front of me. Plan the steps for the 20 feet in front of me. And then when you get 20 feet, plan the steps for the next 20 feet. And then eventually, if you keep doing that, you're going to get over the mountain and you're going to be way past the mountain. And you're going to be like, oh, that mountain, what was I worried about? That thing was nothing. So that's what this is saying. So, and let's see what else is going on here. And this one, he's about dramatic change and path of destiny. So this really might be kind of something like a big, sometimes these cards or these readings are for more minor stuff happening in our life. And other times they're for the bigger dramatic things going on. So this really could be something a little bit more larger. It could be something that you maybe want to switch jobs, maybe you want to go back to school for something, or you want to have a family or another baby or whatever it is. And things might not be as clear, the path going forward, because sometimes, there's hiccups and everything. You're not sure, maybe financially or time wise or whatever. You're not sure how you're going to make it work. So this is, I feel like this is for something a little bit maybe larger, a larger life decision. And it's saying have faith. Somehow I feel like this is all saying that, help is available, even if it's just like sometimes spiritual help. I really believe if you ask, sometimes your spirit guide, your spirit team, if you ask, even just if you vocalize it, sometimes it helps it put it out in the universe, and it'll help you attract what you need, or the answer will kind of come to you. So maybe this is just saying like have faith, but with Taurus is very practical kind of energy. Do the steps, the practical steps that you need to be doing. I know sometimes we don't want to do those things, but we know we can't fool ourselves. Do the practical steps to achieve the goal. See yourself reaching the goal and having the goal, and feel how, imagine how it would feel to have achieved it too. Because I listen to some inspirational people, and they always say you have to imagine the feeling of achieving whatever it is, because then it helps you kind of put you in the momentum of actually achieving that, and it kind of gives you, I think, a more of an understanding of what you need to do to reach that, and maybe makes you a little hungrier to get that goal. So feel it, because I feel like this is saying this is more of a destiny thing. I believe it's saying that your destiny, and this could be something that's starting this week, or you've been thinking about for a long time, because tarot, it's it has no time frame. But it could be saying it's something that maybe you've been, if it's a new project or something you've been thinking or wanting to do for a long time, but you didn't really maybe put it on the back burner. But this is saying, you know what? Time is now to kind of start looking around, see how the help that is available to you, change the thought patterns, get rid of things that are not serving you anymore, and figure out the steps that you need to reach your goal, and do it. Do it. Because I feel like this is saying that you are destined for it, and you just need to have faith. Sometimes you just need to, you don't know how you're going to do it, but you just have faith that you're going to do it, and somehow it just works out. It works for you. So that's what I kind of feel is going on with this week. And I told group 1 with this whole feeling stuck and powerless and the mental overthinking. Sometimes we need to things are going on. They're out of our control. There's nothing we really can do about it. And sometimes we worry about things that didn't actually happen quite yet, but we super stressed out about it. It didn't even happen. It might never even happen that way. But in our minds, we have this whole scenario of worst case scenario and everything, it's just, we make it extra. So then we stress about stuff that's not even based in reality. At least I do that. Sometimes it gets super dramatic in my mind, and it never actually transpires that way. So then I spend all this time, energy, and I would get exhausted after that. I'm worn out. I'm finished. I can't sleep, and it doesn't even transpire anywhere near as my worst case scenario. So this is saying you got to get out the head. And if you start having these thoughts, replace them with positive things. Replace them with thoughts of, at least, what are you thankful that you have right now? It could be family, it could be your dog, it could be your favorite plant, maybe your plant is growing buds or something, and it makes you happy. So it could be anything. It could be a bird sat on your tree and it kind of looked like it was winking at you or whatever. It could just be anything. Replace it with something that kind of makes you feel a little bit happier. I even told group 1, if you're really having a moment going through stuff, sometimes like this little guy, I got him and he makes me super happy every time I see him, because it's fun. I like kind of fun stuff and it's silly. So he makes me happy. So you have something that kind of gives you that little smile, that inner smile. And if you're at work, you can't have it on your desk, stick it in your drawer. So every time you open your drawer, you have that little reminder of like something silly. It helps try to change that energy that you're in. Because if you keep putting out a certain energy, you seem to like, it's like Murphy's Law. Like you put something out, all of a sudden you're going to get it back, or what you don't want, it just comes barreling your way. So try to switch it up a little bit, because I feel like this, to me, I feel like this is a little bit more of like a major life thing kind of going on for you, or could be down the road. So it's saying, but have faith, like you can do it. It's just plan the steps, feel that you've already achieved it, and have faith that even though you don't know how you're going to climb that mountain, somehow you're going to get your rear end over it, and you're going to just like forget, like you're going to just be like, oh, that was no big deal. So just have faith. So start thinking of your question group 2 for the Magic 8 Ball. We'll do that in a second. But first, we will answer what might be the most important question here of the week. The most important question of your week is, what spirit of the dish shall be with you in this upcoming week? And let's find out. Okay, here we go. What dish for group 2? Okay, yep. This is why I don't shuffle everything on camera, because it's always a disaster. Okay, here we go. This is the one. Okay. Okay, and you got the Middle Eastern, and I do believe that this one is, the hummus. Let me just double check. I believe this one is hummus, though. Yes, it's hummus. I personally enjoy hummus, so maybe this is saying, have something with some hummus this week, if you like hummus. So I personally enjoy it. I like the spicy kind. Okay, and let's see what your inspirational quote will be. Okay, and you got, there would be no rainbows without sunshine and rain. That is so nice. That is so kind of cute too. Actually, that's like super fitting, because you might be having like a rainy moment, but if you bring that little, like, if you change your thoughts and you start thinking sunshine and happiness, you might create an inner rainbow. You might be the rainbow. I have a friend who's definitely a rainbow. So, but yeah, so just remember that if without the rain and the sun, there'd be no rainbows. So take that however that works for you. I think that's really nice. I think that's just saying that even if it's on a rainy day, you're having a rainy day, even just like, what is it, like metaphorically would that be? If you bring that sunshine there, you're going to create that rain into a rainbow, and it's just going to be really pretty. And you might even help other people who are having the rainy day with you. So that's that. So, okay, so let's ask for group 2's question. Let's ask the almighty, all-knowing, mystical, magical 8 Ball. Okay, almighty 8 Ball, what is the answer to group 2's question? As I see it, yes. Oh, so there we go, group 2. The mighty, what is this? The 8 Ball. Why does it have these funny... I don't know, he's being a little cranky. Okay, he says yes, though. He says, as I see it, yes. And he talks to he's like, has the connections to the top. So the magical 8 Ball says yes. So I hope you have a wonderful week, group 2. Remember, keep those thoughts positive, or at least try. I know it's like easier said than done, but, and maybe put a movie or something on you likes. Do something for yourself, even if it's something a little nice for yourself. Do something for yourself that just kind of that just makes you happy. Just be happy. Life is too short. I told group 1, life is too short. It's just too short. So enjoy yourself, and I'll see you later. Bye. Hello, group 3. So this week, for your what mental obstacles do you need to overcome this week, we have, first up, you have the Page of Needles. And in this deck, this is the swords, the Page of Swords in this deck. So this card is about new ideas, curiosity, thirst for knowledge, new ways of communicating, mentally unstable or intellectually immature, like people, or it could be yourself, acts without thinking. It could be also represent being excited about starting something new. This card says, follow your passion and don't be discouraged about any obstacles or setbacks you may face. So then for the second card, you have show the world the real you, full moon in Aquarius. And it's so funny because this week, I think, was it group 1 they had, or yeah, this last group, was it group 2? They had the Taurus sign, and then they actually had, because I just realized you guys have the Aquarius thing, and group 2 had 2 Tauruses. It's so insane how that happens, because I don't make that happen. I just do whatever it is. I just pull it out how it comes out. That's how it is. I'm not being shady over here. I don't do stuff like that. I feel like whatever message it is, that's the way it is. Well, just read it as is. So, but that's insane. Synchronicities happen often. So that's another synchronicity. But here, where was I again? Sorry, I'm like a little off track this week. Okay, so full moon in Aquarius. This says, show the world the real you. Detach and take steps. Detach and take a step back from a situation. Let things progress in their own time. So then you have this, your affirmations, your law of attraction affirmation card says, I want continual joyous growth. I am growth. See, I'm going to restart this. I'm messing up all over the place, but you know what? That's nothing new. I am a growth seeking being, and it is exhilarating to remember that expansion is not only natural, but inevitable. Okay, Kelly, you got to like learn how to read here. Inevitable? Inevitable. I can't say that word. You know what I'm talking about. I know you guys know what I'm talking about. I can't say the word. Inevitable. Inevitable. Inventable. You know what? I'm going to Google it. Google says it. Hold on. We're not done here. This is like, okay. We're going to just ask Google to say this word. Oh, I can't believe it. Okay. Invitable. Invitable? Invitable? Hold on. Can we have it say?
Inevitable.
Inevitable. There we go. Inevitable. Thank you, Google. So, okay. I'm going to start this again because this is like a really, I feel sorry for you guys, group 3. If you're still here with me, I feel sorry for you. Thank you for your patience. Anyway, I am a growth-seeking being, and it is exhilarating to remember that expansion is not only natural, but is inevitable. Hold on. Inevitable. Okay, I am a growth-seeking being, and it is exhilarating to remember that expansion is not only natural, but is inevitable. I love knowing that joy is simply a choice. So since my expansion is inevitable, I'm getting better at this now, I choose to have it in joy. So I'm going to do that one more time without issues this time. I am a growth-seeking being, and it is exhilarating to remember that expansion is not only natural, but inevitable. I love knowing that joy is simply a choice. So since my expansion is inevitable, I choose to have it in joy. There you go, group 3. I made it through that card. So anyway, moving on, group 3, moving on. Anyway, so we have, for your numbers, we have Z, W, and M. You have the color brown. This is like the lighter brown. Not that it maybe doesn't matter, but I have like a darker brown and a lighter brown in this thing. So some people maybe like light brown has like a certain meaning to you or something. I don't know. You have the stone of nurture. And then this little ruin here, he represents the self, family members, friendship, association, and intelligence. Now you have Aquarius symbol here, and Aquarius is an air sign, and they represent humanitarian, determined, individualistic, rebellious, and independent. So then you have Cancer, and Cancer is a water sign, and they represent nurturing, family, sensitive, emotional, moody, and psychic. So you have nurture and nurturing here. So you got 2 of the nurturing things going on. So let's kind of look at this all together, group 3. Let's look at everything kind of like blended, mush it all together. So to me, this is saying that you have And to be honest, group three, out of all the groups, you guys have like the better reading. Like, I'm not throwing shade on the other two groups because I felt bad. Like, because they kind of got some like hard cards, some heavy stuff, but you guys have a little bit of a lighter thing going on. So that's good. So that's good. So, you have like, it seems like there's might be a new ideas or new beginnings or something kind of new coming along your way, or you're thirsty for knowledge. Maybe you're starting school, you're a kid in school and something, you just can't wait to learn that calculus class or something. I don't know. Or there's just new ways, but it also could be like maybe a little bit mentally immature. So it could just be, you might be starting something new, but you're not fully thinking through the whole situation. You're kind of just like, we're going to do this. I'm doing it. It's going to be great. And maybe there's going to be a few obstacles that you didn't foresee because in your mind, everything was just going to be like hunky-dory and peaches and roses. And then there's like all of a sudden a blockage or like some obstacle that comes up. You're like, oh, this wasn't supposed to happen. It didn't happen like this in my mind. So maybe this is kind of saying that start what you're doing. It's good that you have like a new idea or want to start something, but plan the practical steps. Plan the actual practical things or steps to obtain that goal. I think this is kind of what this is saying. But follow your passion. This is definitely not saying don't do it. This is saying follow your passion, but you need to kind of sometimes have a little bit, like, I don't want to say reality into that. You need to throw a little sprinkle of like reality salt into that whole idea and that passionate project. So, just kind of bring it back down a little bit. So do what you're doing, follow your passion, but maybe give it a little bit more thought. And don't be afraid. This is saying show the world the real you. Don't be afraid to like be yourself. I think it's saying kind of like, it could be something that's new. You're going about something in a really different way and you're kind of nervous a little bit to like let people know. But this is saying that don't worry about it because people are just going to like you for it anyway. So just do you. That's what it's getting. I was so nervous when I first started doing this, wanting to do like the whole tarot card thing on YouTube. I was like so nervous to tell anybody, and I didn't I kind of mentioned it to my mom because I figured just in case it actually kind of like maybe if I get like a couple subscribers down the road, if it was something that like ever came up, I should let her know because I know she'd be mad if I never told her. And then all of a sudden, so I mentioned to her and I was so nervous and I thought she was going to be like not really understanding, but she's my biggest subscriber. I know she's watching this now and she's going to watch the full video. It's funny because sometimes when I have like a lot of views on something, I ask her, Mom, did you watch it on repeat? She's like, yeah, I'm going through them again now. So this is what it's saying. You might be doing something different. You might be nervous about it, but don't be yourself with it because it's going to work out, but throw some practical steps into there. And, let's see what this one has to say, how we're going to tie this in. This is all about expansion, too, and growing. So to me, this is all about expansion and growth as well, these cards. Because expansion and growth, of course, is inevitable. Thank you very much. Inevitable. I'm going to be using that in every reading from now on, that word. Word is never going to get me down. See, I've inevitably expanded my inevitable vocabulary or something. Anyway, moving on. So anyway, this could also be that you might be worried because Cancer is about family and being moody and kind of like sensitive a little bit. Because sometimes the Cancers, they feel deeply and they kind of really keep it inside. So it could be maybe this is something you wanted to do or you want to go back to school for something or just some project you wanted to start out in, or maybe you want to change the way you dress or whatever. And you're just a little nervous and you kind of keep it inside. And you might be worried about like kind of what other people are saying. But the Aquarius, it's so funny because they are rebellious, independent, and determined, and individualistic. So to me, this is saying, goes with this show the world the real you. This is all about being individualistic and rebellious. And it's funny because these two, if you think about it, their energies are very, very like different a little bit. Like if the Cancer is a little bit sensitive, emotional, and moody, sometimes they kind of keep it inside, or they're like a little nervous about what other people are thinking or seeing them as. But this one is like, screw you, I'm doing me, I don't care. So you kind of have like maybe two different energies happening at this time. And that happens a lot. Sometimes it's like you need to just do you, and you need to focus on what's best for you and do it your way. But still, you kind of have that nagging thing like, ugh, like, what is my mom going to think? That's how I was thinking. I was like, and I'm almost 40, and I'm like still concerned about what my mom's going to be thinking, So yeah. But my mom was my biggest supporter. She's my biggest fan. so so anyway, so that's what it's saying. Like, just do you, but have practical steps. So if somebody does have a question about like, what are you doing? You'd be like, well, this is how I'm going to achieve this goal, and for this reason. So you can kind of back it up with some knowledge. Okay. So group 3, think of a question to ask the Magic 8 Ball. But first, we will answer the most important question for you guys of the week is what spirit of the dish shall be with you, group 3, in this upcoming week? Let's find out. Okay, group 3, and you have personal fave for me, the Forever Golden. You have the spirit of the French fry is going to be with you this week. So take that however it resonates for you. The spirit of the potato, and let me tell you, any kind of potato spirit in my mind is always a good thing. So the Forever Golden. But this could also be like, if you don't like potatoes, there's onion rings. And then I guess these are those little hash brown thingies. What are they called? The tater tot things. And I'm not sure what's up here, but something else. Some mashed potatoes maybe. And maybe that's even sweet potatoes. So the spirit of whatever kind of is crispy, tasty, and probably not super healthy for you is going to be with you this week. So anyway, so let's find out what your quote, your inspirational quote will be. Okay, so then we got this one jumped out. Find your peace, and then everything will fall into place. So I really feel like this is something that you are doing against the grain a little bit. And sometimes it's silly things. Sometimes we stress about silly stuff, which is really not a big deal, but to us it's a really big deal. So this could be something that you want to change with yourself, or you want to do something differently, and you're like kind of nervous about it. You're more nervous, like you need to do it for yourself, but you're nervous about how other people are going to react or see you or take it. But this is saying you need to find your peace within yourself, because at the end of the day, like, you are stuck with yourself for life. You got to make yourself happy. So whatever that is, however that translates to you, you got to be happy with yourself. So, because if you're not happy with yourself, you're just never going to be happy. Like, that's like key. That's like number one. You have to be happy. Of course, you need to, have a good family dynamic or everything. You got to like, kind of figure all that out. So it's not just, we can't just always just like fully just run after our happiness. But there's, happiness within reason is not it's not unreasonable there. So this is saying find peace, and then everything will fall into place. So maybe this is saying you got to find peace within yourself and be comfortable with yourself, however that is. And the rest is just going to kind of come. So that's that. I like that. So let's find out. Let's ask the all-knowing, almighty, magical 8 ball. Oh, mystical, magical 8 ball. What is the answer to group 3's question? Signs point to yes. This 8 ball, signs have all been pointing to yes, apparently, this reading. So signs point to yes. And you know what? He knows. He is like attached. He's like gets signs from the top. So he knows. So yes is the answer to that question. Okay, group 3. I hope you have a wonderful week. Bye. And thank you if you made it this far. Thank you for just being along for the ride, because apparently the coffee has kicked in for me. Okay, bye, group 3.